So I started this game of Risk with a bunch of friends in a different Discord. Um, this I'm a Karen. He had his name changed due to an inappropriate name, and just the moderator, the fact that they changed their name to I'm a Karen, is freaking hilarious. Like, goodness gracious, it's hilarious. So this is a six-player Risk game, and the card cap is 25. I'm pretty new to the game myself, so me explaining this stuff is kind of how I'm perceiving the game from my perspective. I'm no like super pro expert or anything, but I think I've got a good handle on it. I've done some noob friendly games in Jack's Discord, and I tend to perform pretty well, even if I don't win all the time. I tend to have pretty good performance. And I see some other people who just like run around with their heads, like they look like they're chickens with their heads cut off. Like I don't understand what's going on. So maybe I do have kind of an okay grasp on the game. So we started off and I told everyone like here are some good locations for you to start. Like I told them each my opinion of where good points for them to focus on would be. Um, Orange had a good location around here and down here. Um, Red had a good location up just around this place in general, up in the north. Um, and I did as well. But I was like, I just said like straight up, me and Red have a pretty good start point in the north. But like, I'm just letting you know, like, I'll cede control of the northwest and work on myself on the northeast. So, just go ahead and try to take over the northwest if you want. And we've got Blue. He had a good starting point. I think it was in this area. Blue and purple, light blue and purple, sorry, light blue and pink had good start points all around the center in general. So I was like, so they need to just kind of come to an agreement to not crush each other and set up their own shops like apart from each other so that nobody has to get reamed, Because they could just like blow each other up and then they're out of the game, or they could just try to separate from each other. Black, it was a little iffy, but these islands seemed like a good starting point, and he's done a lot. He's done really well with the islands. There's still some jankiness to how some people are playing. Um, a combination of red going out of his way to troll orange. I'm just referring to the players by their colors because, I'm not just going to name names. One second. Okay, just need a sip. Just needed a sip of water. So, so it all like the doom between red and orange started down here. Orange had an area that could have been pretty easy to take over right down here. Two locations here, and then red had one. And red also had like this great he had tons of stuff up in the north. But his first turn, he just starts down in the south, builds up, attacks freaking orange on this point, doesn't lose a single unit, builds up there and attacks the other orange. Again, doesn't lose a single unit. Round one, just wipes out orange's ability to have like a stronghold in the south, and also sets him up. And he's like, "This game is easy," or like, "This game is pretty simple, and whatever I do doesn't matter. It's all RNG." And we're trying to explain like the strategy and whatnot behind it as I'm going, like setting up stronghold, like choke points and uh, keeping different areas strong and slowly spreading out. Red didn't. Red was really, really stubborn on that. And actually, like, things looked pretty good several times. Red swept over pretty much the entire boot, had almost the whole thing. But just by just by the way Red went about things, he's actually the weakest player right now, yeah. He could be killed off. If someone turned in cards, he would just die. Like if let's see, if Orange no, Orange doesn't have a good way to finish him off unless okay, so here's a way Orange could just immediately pay back all the salt he might be feeling. Orange has 3 cards right now. If he has a turn in right here or right here, Bergamo or Trento builds up. Let's see what a turn in would give for Orange. +3, +15. So to be absolutely safe, I would say wait, we have to do the math on this. So 18 units. So you would want to build this up to 8. So that's putting 5 down, leaving 13 left. Orange from here puts 13 on Venezia. This puts it up to 16 and attacks this blue port. It is 16 against 4, 7, 9, 11. And some of these are ones, and some will become ones over time. So perhaps having 7 units here, but I would say 8 because I'm really afraid. No. 6 or 7 units here because there is another one if you're desperate. But wiping out that one little point, then coming through this blue port and just eliminating him, it kind of puts him out, like in terms of where his location is. But that guy has 3 cards right now, and if he doesn't have a turn in, he's going to have 4 cards by the end of the turn. So he would be stealing 4 cards from someone immediately at this late in the game. We have the cap bonus at 25, but and it's only at 15, but like 2 more turn-ins and we're at the cap bonus, and then things are really going to get volatile. Like this whole area was red, but black has been playing it out pretty well. Like maybe he just knew what to do, but he took my advice. Like, here's a good starting location. Like, you could start down here on the yellow island or up here on the red island and spread out through the mainland. He started on the red island, took over this place. He has a good choke point at the top, good choke point on the harbor, and another good choke point on the other harbor. And the thing about these harbors, if you control all of them, you don't need you can shut them down. Like, okay, so black has all 3 of these green harbors. You don't need to have defense on them because nobody can attack from any of those harbors into you. So he can just remove all the defense he has on them. And honestly, his next move to be in a really strong position, I think, would be, I mean, first off, this is all atrocious. There's so many ones up front, like all of this can be swept over and taken down. But if he builds up a border, here's an incredible border for him. Strong on Foggia, strong on, like really strong on Foggia, and decent borders on Benevento and Caserta, and owning everything behind it, because that also shuts down these yellow ports. He has 4 units on this yellow port, 3 units on this yellow port. If he owns this 3rd yellow port, he has all those units freed up. Suddenly he can fortify from Cagliari immediately up to this front line if he were to get to that front line. Actually, just the most conservative and safe path for him would be to attack directly from Cagliari into Salerno and don't do anything else. Just take Salerno, make it strong, and then fortify these two locations. So like how many units? He has a massive amount of units. Like the the party needs to gang up on him, or he could snowball a victory in like a couple rounds if he played it right. Because when you have, let's say you have 5 cards, you're forced to turn in, so you'll get a bonus, and you're down to 2 cards now. If you kill someone who has 3 or more cards, you're back on 5. And because you've attacked, at the end of your turn, you get a card. So because you've attacked, you're going to get a 6th card, but you can't have 6 cards. So in the middle of your turn, you kill someone. You're back up to 5 cards. The game forces you mid game to do another card turn in. So for another massive amount of units. And then, like, let's just say you got 4 cards. Let's say orange wasn't able to kill off red. Let's see. It's a pretty difficult proposition for black to kill off red because of this last little location here. But if he could, it would. That's 4 cards to steal, and it's just turn in, turn in, turn in, and you get big, big, big. But I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. Just thinking small on the map, Black's next step with such an incredible position. 18 units, assuming he keeps. Let's assume he keeps 10 of that. So I would say you put 4 on Bari, 4 on Potenza, 2 on Cagliari, and then try to take Salerno. In fact, I would actually say 3 on Bari, 3 on Potenza. That puts them up to 4. And then 4 on Cagliari, and send it all into Salerno. When you have that, this is an incredible choke. These 3 countries, or these 3 regions. That lets him shut down these ports. He can just shut them down because he controls them all. So push everything that wins from Cagliari into Salerno, and then fortify from Palermo into the front line again. And it's pretty much devastating at that point. The reason why these choke points are incredibly vital at this point of the game, because once the card bonuses come in, it doesn't really matter that you have big borders unless you have a massively big border. Because someone turns in and gets 25 fucking units, who cares if you had like a big fat 6 or even a 10 sitting on an important border? They're just going to steamroll through it, and usually there's the conservative move to destroy your front line so you don't have like a strong push anymore, and then to set up their own defenses there as you've been crushed. They'll break a bonus, and then just set themselves up. Like uh let's talk about blue. We're talking about I'm a Karen here. With a card turn in, breaks through from Livorno through this island and breaks the bonus of both of these islands, which are 1 and 3. That's not a huge attack, but it also didn't take very much to do. And then setting up a large force on Olbia. Now, if his front line there is gone, he needs to address it or get like run over some more, because now you have a strong front line fortified there, and then you push in further and slowly take it over while setting up some stronger borders down here. This is an okay border up here. There's nothing defending here. I don't know if he notices that there's a path between the freaking mountains, but I mean, he'll learn the hard way, so that's fine. The thing for for orange and pink, they're just in a really bad position. Orange got dicked in the south. This is all on round one. Dicked in the south. Uh, didn't play very optimally up in the center here because this Ancona was a neutral territory. It could have been a natural backdoor for him, so he could have just fortified forward and focused on collecting this green region. Still to this day, he hasn't gotten this green region. He actually just like rage gave up and is going for the north now, which is fine because it looks like things are going better up there. He just hasn't consolidated anything yet. But attacked and had disgusting RNG, lost terribly. Um, and it's just that terrible RNG combined with actually attacking his neutral behind him as a natural barricade. He gave up the back line so he couldn't fortify forward with these basically free units. And he was just playing catch up the whole time while constantly getting bad RNG, while losing a nice area to work with in the south. Oh, well, Red just took his turn. You know what? What did Red do? Let's see what happened. Attacked Benvento. Oh, okay, so he got really bad luck on Benvento. Fogia attacked Benvento. Like, I told them about the RNG odds here. We actually kind of have a live update that I can, like, mention that this is happening in. Um, he only had 3 units. It's crazy. He had, like, a 16 bonus just last round. But he didn't do anything to defend it, so it just got steamrolled through by Black, I'm guessing. I think Black went a little too ham. But if it was to break up Red, who is kind of playing ham like crazy, then that's understandable. Um, it's just risky. It's really dangerous having these open because this is like a storm front to just be washed through like it's nothing. And in fact, like this too here, you could just go through to the Green Harbor. If anyone can get any harbor that's fully under control, then everything falls apart. Because suddenly you can attack each other harbor and break up different regions behind their lines. So you really need to focus on controlling those. Now, what happened here? He had some units, and he only got 3 because of the way things have been going and how loose he was playing with his units. Caserta, he put 1 troop on Caserta, losing 4. So Caserta was at 4. Caserta was at 3. No, Caserta was at 4. He reinforced it up to 5. And then tried to swing out at Benvento. Which... I don't know. What else did he do? He also reinforced Avellino. 2 troops. He should have just put 4... I don't understand that. Should have just been... He had a 4 there. He should have just put 3 on it. Because Avellino, he put up to 5, and it had an utter defeat. Now it's at 3. You do not want to make an attack from a 3 to a 3. Because you're both rolling 2 die, and the defender has the advantage in that situation. It's something like you have a 40% chance of coming out on top when you're attacking from that angle, from that position. And that's just not something you want. Now it looks like he's Omega doomed. I think Orange, He actually made it easier for orange to eliminate him. Oh, but there is the caveat because things went so terribly, he didn't get a card at all. So orange wouldn't be stealing 4 cards, which is still pretty huge. He's only stealing 3 cards, and sorry, and 3 cards is pretty huge. But that's assuming orange had a turn in. Orange would need a turn in for that to be like a good idea. Um, and it does lose you a lot of card tempo. Technically, it only technically loses you card tempo because if you get the kill, you just refund those 3 cards. The risky thing is dealing with this random spot because splitting up the units is spooky. Red is just in a terrible position. Everyone on the map should be thinking of red as about to die, and that means they're in danger. If a player dies, they lose all their cards to the killer. And if the killer can properly, like if they're in a good position, let's just say this didn't exist up here and it was black's turn. Black with 3 cards. They don't even turn cards in. They get 18 units. Kill, 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 kill. That's red out of the game. So he had 18 units to reinforce with. Immediately wipes out red and is up to 6 cards. Forced turn in for 15 more units on top. And just because of this area he's in, that is just pushing this forward. You could be very conservative, build up Bastia to like 10 with the bonus that you got, and make this a wall. These 3 territories a wall, a big wall. Um, so you would attack here. This is assuming all the red got wiped out. Okay, so here's what would happen. This would be a 1. These would all be 1s. Black 1s. These would all be 1s. Caserta would have all of the forces on them, on that location. Then they attack from Caserta to Benvento. When taking it, you, like, whatever units are left over, which would be massive, probably like 20 maybe, you split, so you only move 10 over. So it's 10-10. And then you fortify from Sassari to Foggia. In fact, it might be a good idea to attack Foggia, kill it, then attack Avellino, and when you move forward onto Avellino, you leave 4 units behind there, and then wipe everything else out, and then do what I say there, and fortify from... You wouldn't want to fortify from Sassari, but you would fortify from Cagliari to Foggia. And in fact, because of how weak these fronts are for these players, you might want to focus on Sassari, because blue is a threat to black right now. There's just a whole bunch of nonsense up here. Pink has just been kind of doing things, I guess. I don't know. There's like... This could be a full region, but instead it's like halfway in between them, you know? I don't know. Kind of losing track of everything. Like, I don't know what Orange has some things he can do, but because of these ports, it's very scary. Just being so weak and controlling a territory with ports, it's like, fuck. Like, this strong person can come get me, this strong person can come get me whenever. You need to treat this like a frontline unit almost. But he can't afford to. He just has to hope people leave him alone because he's weak, which is a viable strategy. If people know you're weak and they can't kill you outright, you are always a threat. If you can't be killed outright, you're always a threat. Because you could weaken yourself on someone. You could suicide pact. You could tell someone, like, if you fuck with me, I'm gonna destroy myself into you, and then your opponent is gonna kill me and get cards. So don't you dare. But honestly, knowing these players, the players I'm playing with right now, if you made that threat, they'd be like, lol, do it, you know? But it's a play. Yeah. I don't know what else to say particularly. I do need to note Pink looks like they're in a really bad position, but early on they were doing really well. Then Red because Red just kept making ham moves, just ridiculous moves, like crazy. And definitely just like having fun, which is obviously fine. It's a game. You're supposed to have fun. But like clearly didn't understand any of the game, didn't respect any of the strategy, was just like, I'm just going to do things because I can't really defend anything. But if you look at black and blue are just painful examples of yes, you can defend things. Look at, like, maybe not up here, but look at all of these ones. They're so defended. They're so free. All these ones are super defended. Not quite so these ones, but it doesn't take much effort to get this to a front line, and then people are fucked. Black might win this game, but blue could as well. People might be leaving blue alone for the meme. It's hard to say. Geez, what else do I say about this? I think that's all of it. For myself, I'm not tryharding this game. I don't expect to win. I've only now started to slowly push forward up here, but I think black or blue will be the ones who win. Um, Pink could actually have a blowout victory from the position they're in and the strength of the units focused in those areas. They could just like get a card turn in and wipe across so many of these weak areas and suddenly just have a strong area to themselves. But I think he's just having a blast. Like his first turn was just really effective, just a slow roll, effective move to take control of an area, and then his next turn was just like attacking with threes onto things and losing all of his units. So that's kind of how it went. Yeah, that is how I consider. That is how I see this game. I think it was pretty rambly. Good examples of effective chokes people made. I mean, obviously, my choke was just free. This area is fairly easy to hold. It was much stronger looking, but I started moving out, and it's a little hectic, but I'm not afraid because these guys just, they're new. They're still learning, and I'm not planning on taking advantage of them really. Like people who blew up and got big easily, blue particularly, he just got massive bonuses and nobody was attacking it. So I just like ran through to break up those bonuses he was getting. So for a few rounds, he might own like both sides of the mountain here if he hadn't been broken up a few times. Because he had big bonuses really early. Same with Red. Red had massive bonuses, but I don't think he ever had a single turn where he could capitalize on those bonuses because it was just a sea of ones. People see you have a massive bonus and absolutely no borders, they just run through and take it all. You know? What a fantastic allegory. JK. I didn't want to take it there. But anyways, that is what I see of this game. Uh, Potential victors: black to a major degree. Uh, Blue could be a huge victor. Pink could be, if pink just like suddenly turns it on, like, oh, you know what? I know what to do. Um, they could just burn through. What? How many cars does pink have? Only two. People are turning in really quickly. They pretty much totally ignored my, like, me telling them like, hey, it's good to hold on to cards, not just trade them in when you're available to trade them in. But happens, happens, and now we're here. I think having the card ramp up to 25 was weird. I think I should have had it stop at 15 or just have it be uncapped. The very first noob game I had, like when I was learning the game, the cards were capped at 8, and the game pretty much went on forever. But combined with the cards capped so low and the game, the map being the way it was with lots of easy to hold chokeholds, um, ow, 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 my thumb has a scab, a blister. Ow, 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 ow. Anyways, so because of the map that we were on and the such a low bonus, I really learned a lot from that game of like holding territories at certain points, when card turn-ins can just let people blow through what you think is a strong, strong defensive line, stuff like that. Um, but on the other hand, just having the game be unlimited on your first playthrough, like you don't get a lot of time to mess with your borders, but once the game gets going and the card bonus gets higher and higher and higher, like once it gets up to 30, 40, 45, 50, you realize like, oh, like everything I thought about this game actually shifts. There's like a phase 2 of this game where things get fucking bonkers. So just getting hit with that is a big learning experience. I had a learning experience like that. Uh, yeah, but that's all I can say about it. I think. Red, terribly weak right now, and was visually one of the strongest early on, but definitely wasn't one of the strongest. Orange got absolutely reamed with luck, just a crying shame. Me, I got set up really easily up here because red, like I said, I would seed this area to red, but red just started doing shit down in the south. So I'm like, I mean, I'll just. He had red here, and I had purple here, purple here. He attacked. He attacked with red through to here and left them. Then he fortified the reds out of here into here. So he just gave me this place. So I might have like, look, I'm being noob friendly, but if they just hand me something, it's like, I mean, okay, thanks. I'm gonna have it. Like, obviously, If he had just attacked down here and done some monkey shit, but left these threes, I would still be like, I mean, okay, what you did worked, but I don't think it's gonna hold. But like, I guess you could still set up shop in the northwest. But no, attack down here. Also, just decimated his own units in the area. Like, I'm just setting up shop, I guess. Okay. And I think that's everything now. That's all I've got to say. Thank you, everyone who came to watch. Thanks for hanging out.